You don't have to be an expert in personal protection or a Secret Service agent or law enforcement to think if they're not checking out the site ahead of time as required by their own protocols, that isn't mistakes were made. That's dysfunction. The Secret Service, the Biden-Harris Secret Service, did an investigation of the Biden-Harris Secret Service's failure to protect President Trump. So, not terribly credible, and sure enough, there's this 5-page summary of this internal after-action report or review, whatever you want to call it. It's pretty weak tea. It's written in a lot of passive voice. You know what I mean by passive voice, where the theme of the document is mistakes were made. That's passive voice, right? For example, I think I highlighted a few things I wanted to get to here. On the 3rd page, there was some discussion regarding the site selection between POTUS, RPN, Trump staff, and local elected representatives. So I don't know what RPN means. I've looked that up. Oh, former President of the United States, Republican presidential nominee. So I guess that was, Trump and his campaign staff. However, it appears the Butler's Farm show site was selected by staff because it was a better venue to accommodate the large number of desired attendees. The site was seen by the Secret Service and our local law enforcement partners as a challenge. Okay, and this is where the passive voice starts creeping in. Advanced personnel and multiple supervisors with oversight of the security plan at the Butler Farm venue recognized line-of-sight concerns. However, the security measures to alleviate these concerns were not carried out as intended. Well, who didn't carry it out? What excuse is there for that? You don't have to be an expert in personal protection or a Secret Service agent or law enforcement to think if they're not checking out the site ahead of time as required by their own protocols, that isn't mistakes were made. That's dysfunction. That means our president isn't protected. And I don't mean Trump, I mean President Biden. I mean, you can presume every other protectee is at risk. I think there are political issues with the deployment of resources for Trump, but there's certainly competency issues on top of that that make me worry for everyone under the protection of the Secret Service. This is a classic. Specialty asset impact. The next page. There have been numerous questions regarding the approval, denial, and decision-making process for specialized assets. The visit was supported by Secret Service counter-sniper and counter-assault assets. These and other tactical assets are sometimes augmented by law enforcement partners. While the advance team from the local office and the protective detail were afforded sufficient notice to conduct an unabbreviated advance, the counter-sniper asset arrived later during the advance week. So they were late. And they note, if they had been there maybe from the get-go, this could have been avoided because they would have been able to have a fulsome conversation with their partners. And then they have this drone system. Look at this next paragraph. This is psycho. The protective detail provided a counter-unmanned aerial system advance agent for the visit. Due to the former president's schedule, which involves a steady cadence of outdoor events and activity, the protective detail prioritized this asset to counter drones and similar threats. There were some technical difficulties experienced by the advanced personnel with that system. It is possible that if this element of the advance had functioned properly, so their drone didn't work. And remember, the kid had a drone out there. They didn't tell the local snipers, it's also confirmed here. The local police cover the roof. So they didn't. Secret Service's fault. They told one Secret Service agent, a top official, about the guy once he was once he was picked out as someone to figure out what he was up to. Secret Service guy didn't tell anyone else. All of this. We just find out, and we can't even get, in response to the craziness that they exposed and knew about on July 13th, they still didn't have sufficient security for Trump 2 months later at the golf course. And they start blaming him for it. And we still don't have one record under FOIA from this gang. Let's go to this. It's worth talking about again. Let's go to this video.
Hey everyone, Judicial Watch just filed its first FOIA lawsuit on the Trump assassination attempt. This lawsuit was against the Secret Service, Department of Homeland Security, over its repeated rejection of requests for extra security by the Trump team. Now, the Biden Secret Service lied about its rejections of Trump's requests. And if they had granted Trump's request for extra security, the assassination attempt arguably could have been prevented, and an American citizen would be alive today. So on top of the scandal about lying, about denying protection to Trump, they're hiding records from the American people. And that's why Judicial Watch is doing the heavy lifting in federal court to get the full truth about the Trump assassination attempt, which in the end is a massive government scam.
So the secrecy helps the Secret Service avoid accountability, and if there's no accountability, things aren't going to be fixed. Even folks on the Hill recognize that money isn't the answer. I mean, some Democrats are saying, we're not just going to throw money at this. There's an agency issue. But right now there's an emergency, because this isn't like, we don't have a lot of time. I'm afraid Trump is going to get killed. I'm afraid he's going to get killed before the election. I'm afraid that these 2 assassination attempts that came close to killing him will incite and invite others to try, because they may think they have a chance. Matt Gaetz was on social media this week. He was on a cable network, or I think he was on our friend Just the News's John Sullivan's show at Just the News. And he said he had a whistleblower or a source tell him that there were 3 assassination teams associated with foreign groups here in the United States, foreign governments targeting Trump, and 2 who were homegrown. 5. So this is an emergency. It's a national emergency. And so we got to get on it and just not pretend, well, Trump needs to stop golfing, or Trump can't talk anymore and campaign anymore as the left wants him to do. And if he says anything we don't like, we're going to justify the shooting of him because he deserved it for inciting people, because people just hate him. Just great. The evil out there in our politics is awful. I mean, right now, the Secret Service isn't producing any documents to Judicial Watch. In fact, we're trying to get the audio, I think it's the audio of the shooter's parents or father or someone calling. And the Secret Service, the locals are giving us the runaround on it. And the Secret Service intervened to support the locals suppressing the information. So it's a massive cover-up. And of course, the argument is there's ongoing law enforcement proceedings. Under that theory of the case, we'll never get documents because the proceedings never stop. And of course, there's a significant public interest in protecting President Trump's life and the lives of people who want to go and listen to him talk. And the idea that because someone's looking into it, we can't know about the failures of the agency and the details of what's being uncovered so that people can better protect themselves and understand the failures of an agency? Who are they kidding? So don't put out these documents, Secret Service. Don't try to pretend that we should trust you, FBI, when you're not telling us a darn thing under law what you're up to, about what you're up to. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and like our video down below.